and welcome to Wolves World for the match review of the disappointing last-minute 1-0 defeat at home to Aston Villa. It's fair to say that the result was a sickener. While Wolves were not at the best and missed many opportunities, I didn't feel Villa did enough to win that game, and always in the manner that happened it's heartbreaking for any fan, let alone in a sort of local derby game like that. Before I move on to some of the sort of positives and negatives of the day, I think it's also worth noting that Villa and Wolves this season, not just because of the opening 10-12 games, but just in general, are quite evenly matched teams. Villa have definitely strengthened from last year, and Wolves, I think, are probably a little bit weaker. I think they're both teams that should be fighting to be around sort of 10th spot, and I think that's where ultimately both will end up there or thereabouts, that position. Villa controlled the first half of the game, I felt, in terms of the ball, while I wasn't really too nervous at any times about how they pressed. Wolves, on the other hand, seemed quite happy to let Villa have the ball for large parts of the game, not just the first half, and caught them on the break, and then had a few lively spells of 5-6 minutes at a time, and opponents in the first half got a few shots away, which was how the sort of flow of the first half went. It never really looked like either team were going to take ascendancy in the game or indeed go in with a lead at half time. Moving on to the second half, I felt Wolves again let Villa start the half in the same way, but then Wolves really kicked on a gear for sort of 15-20 minute spell after in the second half, and really got on top of Villa. They were creating chances, they were getting balls out wide, they were cutting through the middle, they had through balls, a range of players getting shots away. Dendoncker unlucky today, or possibly not unlucky, depends how you look at it, not to have at least one goal if not two. Podence lively throughout, and actually I was quite pleased with our attacking play, minus the fact we didn't put the ball in the goal. At this stage, I think it's right to talk about Fabio Silva. I know that some fans are very worried about the lack of Jimenez, and I'm one of those, but I'm equally delighted to see this young lad, not in these circumstances of course, but this young lad get these minutes. I thought he played very well today. He's not going to be out there leading a line like Jimenez. He's not going to win every single ball that comes his way, but this experience he's gaining, playing those minutes like he did today from start to finish against physical, quick defenders, I thought he acquitted himself really well. He was very positive. He showed some really classy touches, especially as he warmed into the game second half. He was very unlucky with his inside shot that hit the inside the post, and even a sort of flicked header that nearly ended up in Cody's path. They were all good chances that, even on days like today, Jimenez may not have got more chances than he got today, and might not have done any better with the ones that came his way. Another player I thought stood out today, as you'll see in my play rating shortly, I thought Saiss, and I was nervous when I saw Saiss playing. I thought, Bolly, yes, he's dropped off a bit recently and probably deserved to be on the bench. Kilman's been unlucky for a few games, not to have started. And today, when he makes that change, he's brought in Saiss. And in a back four, I was slightly nervous. But I actually thought Saiss was probably the pick of the defensive players today. I thought he didn't look his sort of occasionally reckless self. I thought he moved the ball nicely and sensibly and didn't do anything sort of above his station, which is also a criticism I have of him sometimes. So I was really happy to see Saiss come in and again strengthens those options, whether it's a 4 or a 5 we play at the back. Marcel is another player I thought had a very good game. I'm delighted he's in at left back now. And for me, as I'm about to discuss with Semedo, when Johnny returns, I would like to see Johnny just go over to the right-hand side and Marcel stay on the left, providing they can both stay fit. Because I just think Marcel offers a bit less attacking-wise, but when you've got only a back four, I'm fine with that. And I think Johnny, we know what we get out of him. I think anyone who feels he hasn't been missed is watching the wrong team. He's massively underrated at Wolves, does a fantastic job in both directions, and I can't wait to get him back. I thought Neto, Podence and even Traore today were very dangerous. I thought they looked threatening a lot of the time, especially second half, and linked well with each other, which is a set of partnerships in a triangle that Silva will need and they will need with each other if we're going to get out of this tricky spell without Jimenez by finding the net. And today, that was an improvement on last time, and I'm sure that next time, maybe not against Chelsea, but the next time that comes together, I think that will be another step forward in us trying to find the solutions, as Nuno says, to our goal-scoring problems. Few negatives for me today, and there obviously are some, is firstly, we've lost a game to a team that I think should be beaten, especially at home. Yes, I think they're equal to us, as I said earlier, but you've got to be seeing Villa at home as a game you're going to win, taking away even the fact that they're a local rival. You've got to be beating them at home, I think, if you're anyone trying to do anything in the Premier League. Another negative is, again, we didn't score a goal, and while we had a lot of decent chances, they're not just half chances, I think decent chances. The keeper was in inspired form, a keeper that I like actually, and even since he was at Wolves, I think his career's gone on, shown he's a capable keeper, and pleased for him to be getting a number one spot now. But today it played against us because he was on top form, and on another day Wolves would have had probably 2 or 3 goals. Another negative, and if this game had stopped at 92 minutes, I would have said the game plan was fine, we were unlucky, I'd take a point, but the negative after that time is Nelson Semedo again, and I've been reading a lot of fans being critical of him, and I've kind of held back and felt, no, he's settling, he's not used to the formation, he's not this, he's not that. But I feel today he had a very solid game, even broke forward well at times, linked with Traore, defended quite well against a tricky opponent in Grealish, and then he goes and does that at the end, and it's unforgivable really. He's been beaten, and he knows he's quick, but he isn't as quick as I think people said. And it was reckless to try and get back in and make that tackle. If McGinn goes on and scores, Semedo, you've been beaten, then someone else has been beaten to a cross, or fair play McGinn for a great goal. But you've just given the game away by making a tackle that is no reason to be made at that stage and that position on the field. So that was a real disappointment for me. The other disappointment, I think, links to a few other comments I've made there, is our bench offers nothing when we fall behind or are struggling to find a goal in a game. And yes, we've got a very attacking, positive lineup, which I was happy to see today, and I'm still happy, even in hindsight after the defeat, to have seen him start with that. I just think January can't come soon enough for a signing as a striker, or even another player in the mould of Neto and Traore Podence type, because you can't have a bench where your best option of getting a goal is bringing on Ruben Neves. And we love Neves, he's a great player, but he isn't the player who's going to get you that goal when you fell behind. So that's somewhere that needs to be addressed. And I think even seeing 2 players arrive, one maybe to start immediately and the other to be a constant option, would be enough for me to say, well, we've made the right steps there. Because when we welcome Jimenez back, we're still going to need those players on the bench either way. So quickly, the player ratings for today. I think they're quite self-explanatory. I've filled it up with a lot of 7s. I thought it was a good performance. Standouts for me, as mentioned, Saiss, Podence, and I think I'd probably give Neto a slightly higher score again. Yes, he didn't get on the score sheet or even really look like he was getting too close to it today, but he's another performance from a player who I think is coming on leaps and bounds and is very soon, if not already, our key player in the team. So on to Chelsea on Tuesday night. Hopefully I'll get a video out before then, but my early prediction is that one is probably a bit of a thumping. I think we need to go back to the back 5 for that game. Horses for courses, and this is a horse and a course that needs to be a 5. Then if we can snatch 1 goal, I think we could maybe come out with it with a draw, but otherwise I am expecting a very difficult and long Tuesday, which is the start of a long and continuing December, until we can maybe get someone in. So that's all from me today. Disappointing result, but hopefully it hasn't stopped you enjoying this video. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. Follow me on Twitter at NorthernWolf10. I'll see you on Tuesday for a preview of the Chelsea game. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.